DJ and
What's
Chewy.
going on, boys?
Hope you guys had a good weekend. We are here to kind of just bullshit, kind of see what's going on with the league happenings throughout the week. Um, give our thoughts on it. Yeah,
A little bit of rumors going on. The usual stuff. It's a nice mid ground between Thursday Throwdown and E Sober. Um, Saw the void and figured let's do a show and let's get it going.
can't hurt, right?
Yeah.
So, without delay, um, let's get right into it. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
So first thing that's came to our attention, a trade has been posted for between Magilla and Tomahawk. Joe Stowe is going for Mac North. Now, this is a trade that's perceived as a massive trade just because of the round difference with Stowe getting drafted, round one, seventh overall, and Mac falling way down. Um, I think this is a little bit more of a perceived trade than an actual trade, really. Just because a lot of people are thinking Stowe, got drafted a little bit too high, so people are kind of calling this trade as it is. What are your thoughts on that?
Part of me was left pretty speechless, actually. Tomahawk literally does not know Mac. I don't think at all. Um, I come. I have a pretty good background with Mac. The guy literally has a scroll bar of Stanley Cups in the old league that we played in. Um, so maybe from just word of mouth, Tom was thinking that this would be a good move for him. I know that he drafted 6,000 different left wings, and from my experience, he just traded for another one. Um, so there you go again with the head scratch, right?
Yeah,
Uh, in all honesty, I think it might pan out for him because as long as Mac puts the work in and gets back to top form, it's not going to happen overnight. He's got to get reps in, just like anybody else. We know NHL's like riding a bike; it doesn't take too long. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, right now, I think Mac is going to do well, but Mags is
yeah,
just literally running away with this trade. No question, no hands down.
yeah. I think Mag's definitely got the better end of this stick. Mac I've played with I think only one time before, and he there's nothing wrong with the way he played. It's not like he was a pylon or anything like that. He moved the puck well, and he's not a scrub by any means. But I think Joe Stowe has been around the league for a while. He's obviously proved himself. He rode the backpack all the way to the cup last season, and I think that caused him to get a little bit too high of a draft here. But um, it is what it is, really. Um, I think Mags gets the better end of the stick here, but um, I don't think Tomahawk is getting as bad of a deal as everybody's saying he is.
Yeah, you're definitely right, and there's really only one thing left to say to that, and that's trying out this new feature here. So bear with us. I got a soundboard going, and our good friend Matthew Daly hooked us up with some good sounds, and this one goes for you, Tom.
Yeah, good talk.
All right, moving on. Um, we we all know how Demar plays. He's a elite forward, um, quote unquote gentleman, because as most of you know, last season, um, about midway through, he got into a pretty heated hut game, and words were exchanged, and the next thing you know, Dmart is unable to somehow log into his account and play for 14 days. Now, being the gentlemanly player that he is, because he won the Lady Bing, and that's, as everybody knows, is the most gentlemanly player in the league. It's another big question mark on the top of my head, thinking, what's going on there, Danny boy?
Yeah. Um, Dan's a stand-up guy. He gets along with pretty much everybody in the league. I don't see, besides the obvious swagger situation from last season, the season before that.
Yep, I was a part of
Um,
that.
I've never seen Dan get angry really at anybody other than EA for making a shit game that we all still love to play every night. So, um, with that being said, do you think he was a deserving number one in the draft choice? Do you think Hugh had a better choice for the draft at number one? I mean, when you look at the pool and you look at the results and everything, you got Dmart, you got Stealth, you got Sober, Brick, and Drug going number 1 through 5 there. Um, do you think Hugh has a better fit elsewhere, or you think Dmart was definitely his best choice in that in that number one position?
From my experience, with I've played with pretty much everybody. I have a pretty long history of Drug. Um, Brick I never played with. Played against them in the beginning of the season last year when my schedule was A's and I could only play once in a blue moon when the moon was in a certain phase.
Yep.
And he
30th overall.
Yeah, 30th overall represent. So him at 4 is just hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Dank. Hello, you done know. Hello, Hugh. Like, I know you're a center, Hugh. I get that. You get a guy like Brick. That's a no-brainer to me. Like, don't get me wrong. I respect the hell out of Dan. He plays a hell of a game. But you can affect the game so much more when you have just. I would put Brick a whole tier above Dan. Just.
Wow, that's some big words. For Dan has been basically the undisputed number one since this league has been created, and that's some heavy words coming in from the rookie from last season. I think Brick's a solid player. He changes the game, and I think I don't really know why he dropped to 4. Really, I feel like that he definitely should have been at least top 3, if not 1 or 2. I wouldn't go so far as saying that he's a tier above Dan, but the skills are there, and I don't know. I think Dan's still deservedly number one here, and like I said, I play with the guy every night, and he's a great dude. And I think Hugh made the right choice here because Hugh's a solid center. So you already have that center position filled. You draft a playmaker right wing where Dan can make things happen. It really doesn't matter who you put on that left wing now at this point because they're gonna get stuff done. This a couple seasons ago when I was on Dan's team, he was right wing, drafted NJ Ski at center, and it didn't matter who you put on that left side, they were going to score goals. We had Fallen come in, and he had 50-something goals that season, led the league, and it was just it was ridiculous because Dan just makes plays happen. And there's nothing from Brick because Brick is solid too. Brick makes plays happen, but the way Dan just kind of sees everything, I think he's undisputed number one still at this point.
Yeah, I respect that, and I also agree with the fact that Dan makes the people around him better. Case in point, another good friend of ours, Esoteric, when we played on Jello Time, dude put the puck in the back of the net when Dan was on his right wing. Not trying to discredit myself, but he didn't have that caliber of player the following season, and I wouldn't necessarily say he struggled, but it just wasn't there. It seemed.
Yeah, it's just when you get someone on the ice that can make things happen, like Dan or like Brick can do, it really just changes how the entire team is able to play. Cause they get pucks through where the puck shouldn't be going through, and it's just you just change the game around. It's insane. Speaking of game changers, we've got rookie to 239, not rookie to a lot of these guys, but Sea-Doo coming in, signing up.
Who the fuck is she?
Everybody is comparing her to Daly, saying those are some big words.
Yeah.
She's saying that she's on par, if not better than Daly on that right D position. Now I've never seen her play. I've never played with her before. I only just know what I hear through the grapevine. And when Daly himself is saying that she's on par with him, that's some big words. And I think where'd she fall to? She dropped to 15 to Pale. I think with Pale having Brick and now Sea-Doo, that's a hell of a forward and defense 1-2 punch to get in your first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I don't really know what the other 11 guys were doing. Like, a lot of people seem to take Daly's word to heart, and they give him a lot of credit for the analysis that he pumps out. And from what it seems like is I don't know if it's the majority, but there's a good chunk of the guys that are like, yeah, man, she's fucking legit.
Yeah.
So for that to happen, for her to drop, okay, let's say I would also compare Drug Monkey to Daly. They play a very similar game. So you have the next Daly, or whatever you want to call it, dropping to 15, and then 10 picks above that, you have Drug Monkey going.
Yep.
Is defense just not valued?
I think in this league, in this game, really in general, this game is so much more offense heavy that you don't really get applauded much for playing defense. You're expected to do your job, and you don't really get credit for doing it well. Unless you're a top tier player where you're making things happen consistently, like you just kind of are there, and that's why you don't see defense normally going until mid to late second round for the most part.
Unless you're Legion and you draft Daly and he doesn't show up for
two
series, yeah.
It was at least the two most important series. Hey man, he didn't show up the series we played against him. That was the one they needed him. We swept them, and that sweep knocked them out of any sort of playoff contention.
Yep. Saddle's right in there.
You're gonna draft somebody, you gotta make sure that he's available and not cooking fucking hot dogs at the ballpark.
Yeah. For a work function. Hockey work. Hello, Daly. Are you there?
Catchies and musties, boys.
Saucies for days. Let's get it.
All right. Yeah. So we've got Sea-Doo dropping to 15th, and then you've got a guy like Sober going 3rd overall. What are your thoughts on this? I think he's gone way too high at 3rd overall. Sober's a good guy. I've nothing against him. Talked to him all the time. He's played with him a bunch of times. He's a good dude. I think late first, early to mid second.
I think he goes early 3rd, maybe late 2nd. I don't see him do the things that guys like Brick, guys like Dan, guys like I don't see it from him to be able to change the game that they do, and for Dank to, in my opinion,
so high,
waste the 3rd pick.
Yeah, because you look at the people that he's got underneath him that are going. You got Sea-Doo, you've got Burks, you've got Moose, you've got King Rome, you've got Jofis. You've got all of these guys going below him that probably should be drafted higher than he is. Again, that's nothing against Sober. It's just the way it is. I know I'm not the fucking best left defenseman in the world. I'm not the best goalie in the world, but it is what it is. I think Dank reached a lot on this, because you pick somebody that high, you need that person to be carrying your offense or carrying your defense. They're your go-to player, and it's Sober. I just don't see him carrying a team. I don't.
Well, you look at the Thundercat season when he played with Lamp, and there was the one rookie. What was his name? He was really loud at the parties. Remember, crazy. Anyways,
I couldn't even tell you.
Who also put up crazy numbers. So I don't know if that was more of just a instant clicking thing, and they just boom produced.
Yeah, the chemistry was there.
Or it was a matter of just somebody carrying the guy that can barely tie his own shoes and gets picked third overall.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with a good backpack ride to the cup. I can't emphasize
Speaking
that enough.
from experience, are we?
Speaking from experience, yeah, you know, DMAR was like, "Hey man, I'm going for a walk. You want to come?" I was like, "Yeah, hop in," and
Say
rode
no
that
more,
all over
fam.
the cup. Say no more. And yeah, I mean, I don't see him going third overall in any other draft, and I think Dank reached a lot here because this is a guy that's got to carry your offense, and I don't see Sober doing that really.
Especially with the talent. Like,
This draft pool was
so
deep, man.
fucking deep. Like, we're talking deep.
From the veterans that have been here since season 0 to, I mean, all the rookies that came in.
Well, it didn't.
We've got
Who was the one that brought in all the LG guys? That was Shock, right?
Shock brought in, yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of times when we'll be playing big sixes late at night and we'll match up with the LG team and we just get fucking throttled.
Yeah, Shock did say that they're the last place LG AHL team. So, that I don't know what their skill set is. I know they play together. I don't know anything about any of them. I've yet to play a game with them. But there are some rookies that I have played with. You got fucking Dicko. You've got The Rock, Ozzy, Clancy, Toms. You've got Jumbo Joe, Fiddy, the Lime. Who else we got here? You got guys like King Rome. King Rome is one of the rookies I think that's going to make a difference here. Obviously, Sea-Doo blowing aside, that's a given that she's going to be something special. But I think also on this list is King Rome. He's one of the most solid centers that I've seen play the game, and he's gonna win the draws 9 times out of 10. And he's a great two-way forward. He's got skills to finish. He's got skills to win the face-off, and he's got skills to come back and play defense too. He's that all-in-one center that you'd really be looking for. I think going back to the whole Sober at number 3, I think Dank probably would have been better suited taking someone like King Rome to fill in at the center position, and then you could play wing. But Rome can kind of play anywhere, but he really excels at that center position.
I would have to agree with you. It was earlier in the week, and we were just in the chat box. The next thing you know, we're playing games, and it was instant chemistry there. It didn't matter. He seems like a really chill guy too, a good guy to have in a party. He really does it all, especially at center. I was really impressed.
Yeah, he's him between him, Joe, and Sea-Doo. I think they're going to be the top 3 for Rookie of the Year this year. That's my early picks. Calling them out now before the season even officially starts. Those are going to be the three top contenders for Rookie of the Year this year. Somebody can come in and prove me wrong, but those are my picks.
Who's your dark horse then for Rookie of the Year?
I'm not really sure. Let me think on that. Who do you got?
A guy that probably not a lot of you guys would know would probably be Demented Spud. Unfortunately, he's playing on his off D. I guess if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really solid. He's a guy that's gonna surprise you. He hits hard. He does everything. Like he's definitely a guy that I could see surprising a lot of people, saying, "Wow, he's actually really solid."
Clear. I think The Rock may do well. Esso is pretty. Esso was his referral, and Esso said he's pretty solid. I don't know much about him. I haven't seen him play. I don't think he's really played much with anybody else in the league, at least not to my knowledge. I think maybe he'll do something well this year. Esso did draft him, if I recall correctly.
Yes, he did. He took him in the.
Yeah.
I think it was in his 6th round.
Yeah, that was his last pick. I think going in the 6th round as an unknown, I think you've got the potential to really do something well, and really surprise some people, especially if nobody's really played with him before.
Yeah, speaking on him, he's another guy that I played in another league with, and for him, he needs the right group of guys to excel. So, depending on whether or not he sees ice time on our team, hopefully we can get him in. Um, you're probably right. He's gonna do well too, I think.
Okay. Speaking of your team and SO, what are your thoughts on the Swagger pick? SO coming in and taking Swag. What was it? His second pick, 14th overall. Now I played with Swag last season, and I had no problems with him. I know obviously people got bad blood with Swag.
There's a lot of people that have bad
We
blood with them.
we heard Legion all night on draft night talking about it. We've got a lot of people saying that they've got bad blood with him. He was a nice guy to me. I didn't have any issues with him. He was always chill in the parties. He wasn't flashing out at anybody. If something was going bad, he just muted his mic, raged a little bit, and then came back, and he was good to go. I like the pick at 14, late or early second round. I think Swag fits in fine there, and that's good firepower on your right wing.
Now I'm gonna throw something at you. Take it if you want it. Throw it back if you don't. Let's say Swag has no issues with anybody in the league. Does he still go in the second round?
I think he goes. I think he bumps up to the first. To be completely honest, I think the reason that he falls to the second most times is because he's got bad blood with people for whatever reasons, past, present, whatever it may be. I think he's a clean slate, and the skill set that he has, he goes probably late first round. Now, granted, it's not much of a step up from where he went as the second pick in round 2, but I think he goes late first round.
Yeah, no, I see that too.
So. Moving on from the whole Swag thing, he gets plenty of airtime. I don't need to stroke his peen any longer.
I think on every show, yeah.
Superstar getting waived already prior to a single game happen. What the fuck?
This was another. I think this was another Tomahawk pick, right?
This was I believe it was a Tomahawk pick.
Let's see,
just confirm here. Tomahawk pick.
In what round?
That was in round. I want to say 5. Yeah, 5. Round 5, 52nd overall.
Now, I literally know nothing about Superstar, so maybe you can enlighten me a little bit.
I have yet to actually play with Soup. He's been in the league in and out the last couple seasons, and I really don't know much about him other than apparently he's a solid goalie, but he prefers playing wing. Now, when he plays wing, most of the time that he's playing wing, he dangle dicks. That's his thing, is just trying to go through everybody by himself. And this year he had preferred left wing. Lefty or goalie. It was to my impression that he normally gets drafted as a goalie. Tomahawk obviously is a goalie, so that wasn't going to work. So then he moves out to left wing. But there's not even a game played yet, and he's already waived. I could not tell you the reasoning behind it. I know Wizzy War. I don't know who he is, but I know he's the one that replaced Soup on the roster. Maybe he just had too many left wings because Rizzy War is a right wing preferred. So maybe that's the reasoning why. I couldn't tell you the reasoning behind it. No games played yet, and somebody's already getting dropped to waivers.
Yeah, I don't know if there's something else going on there. Maybe he just didn't want to play for Tomahawk. I don't know.
I guess it's a possibility. You just kind of see the name get put in there and say that they're dropping him, and that's just kind of what happened. There's no real reasoning behind it that I saw, and if it works out in Tomahawk's favor, good for him, I guess. But it was kind of crazy to see a waiver someone getting dropped to waivers before the season even started.
And nonetheless, on the same team that traded a first-round pick for a sixth-round pick.
Sixth-round pick,
So
yeah.
there is some shit going down on that
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, it's a rookie captain. I think he's still trying to get his footing on the whole captain thing. Now, I have no fucking room to talk when it comes to captaining. I've captained twice now, and both times I have been dead last, no chance of playoffs. It's just I'm gonna stay in the draft pool, man, because both times I captained worst team in the league. Both times I've been in the draft pool, finals appearance, and one cup. So. I like my odds more in the draft pool. I'll play, but I'm not going to I can't draft teams worth of shit, clearly. So maybe my opinion doesn't mean jack shit to Tomahawk. But I think he's just a rookie captain still trying to gain his footing and seeing how everything works in the league. And I don't think he necessarily had the best draft, especially because I believe he was the one that drafted fucking like 4 left wings. So that's not going to work out in your favor.
Yeah, no, and I believe he mentioned that he didn't realize that myself or Marty had changed their preferred positions until draft night. Now, I can tell you that definitely wasn't the case. There was at least 3 or 4 days, and if I'm captaining, I'm looking at the draft sheet every 20 fucking minutes. I don't know about you. But there's a serious amount of planning going into that shit. You don't want to suck. You don't want to be the fucking Jager Bombers 2.0.
Yeah, that's Dun's team this year. Jager Bombs 2.0. He requested permission to use the team name. I was like, if you want that curse name, go for it, man. I don't care.
It's fucking cursed.
So shout out to the Jager Bomb 2.0. You can just refer to any team that sucks as the Cyclones. That was my season 0 team. Props to those guys. I had Marty McFly. He was my first pick. It was a good group of guys, and just didn't pan out. So we'll go from that and just go over to who do you think's got an off the wall pick? Who missed on their draft here? Somebody that's just shot in the dark and just failed miserably.
I hate to beat a fucking dead horse here, but Tom, no discredit to Joe still here. He did good things with Figo and Brick, but this is another pick like drafted sober. God damn it. Dank. Like,
yeah.
You trade up, and I understand you lose 2 of your picks, the two guys that you're going after.
Mm-hmm.
But Rome was available.
Dom
Silva was available. Marty, I guess you could have still got Marty. He's a great defenseman, and playing a lot of goalie myself through the years, you need
to have good defense in front of you. You could be the best goalie in the league, but if your defense in front of you is weak, you're going to get exposed. It's just the way of the game.
If you don't have faith in them, you're going to start cheating, and if you're going to start cheating, there's guys like McSwagger who are just going to go fucking clap City bar down. You're going to need fucking sunscreen from that red light going off.
Yeah, make sure that's from the goal line, too, if we're talking about Swag. He'll get at least 2 of those a series, guaranteed.
Bless up for Swag, thanks.
Yep, post one there.
What about you?
I think I'm gonna go with my man Gunny. I think taking Edge at number 6 overall. No discredit to Edge. He had a hell of a season last year, but I think that was more of a product of his environment. I don't think he's gonna be the one that's carrying an entire offense on his back. Because you look at the team, you've got Gunny, you've got Edge, you've got DC, you've got Sabby, you've got Drop the Cap, Silk, and Legion rounding out that team. I don't think Edge is carrying that offense at all. I think he reached pretty far here. I don't know if there was someone in his ear or whatnot. I don't see Edge carrying an offense here. Props to him though. If he does it and proves me wrong, tells me to go fuck myself, so be it.
I'll gladly sit in the dark, pull my pants down, and sit on my thumb. I thank you.
Yeah, exactly. But at this point, I don't see Edge carrying an entire offense. And that's, like I said, that's what you need from your first round guys. You need them to carry your team. Um, and I think with the guys behind them that got drafted, again, Rome and BCO and Jofus, Moose, Dom Silva, Swag,
You could just go down the whole fucking
you can just fucking
full second round, in my opinion.
Yeah, you
Straight
got.
up.
I mean, I think Edge goes late second, mid to late second. I think third round's a little bit of a stretch because he's a solid winger, and third round normally is where you'll start seeing your D and your goalie disappear.
Yep.
I think he goes. I think he goes mid to late second round in a normal draft where someone's not reaching for the stars here and hoping for the best.
Who's the steal of the draft? Who fell way below where they should have?
Shout out to my man Joe Thornton. I think he fell a lot farther than I thought he was going to fall. Going down all the way to the second to last pick in the second round. I think he fell pretty far, and I've played with him a couple nights now, and he's a good player. He'll finish some goals, and I think he fell a lot farther than he should have. And if you didn't freaking change your availability to goalie only like a tard, you would have fallen really far too at 31. But hey, man, I hope you prove me wrong.
Let's just say old Chewy's been putting in the time. And things are looking good, boys. Watch out. Pale, I'm calling it right now. 2 shutties in the series. Thanks. Go fuck yourself. Anyways,
some wise words coming from the past champ there.
You gotta throw a little shade, man. You gotta throw a little shade.
He's already calling out his repeat as it is. I don't see that happening. I think Pale's got a good team. I don't see him repeating. This draft pool is so deep. I think a lot of teams really have. I'm not going to say every team, but I think a lot of teams have a real shot at the championship this year. And I think calling out your repeat before a single game is played is a little bit ballsy there, Pale. Brick's not going to be able to carry you the whole time again.
The man's got a big backpack, but
people know who he is now.
Maybe he's thinking that Sea-Doo really does the job and usurps our perennial fucking Norris winner. I don't know. Those are big words to talk this early in the season.
Yeah, that's big words to talk is an understatement. I think I don't know, man. I think that's real ballsy. But hey, you got full faith in your team like that. So be it. I talk all the shit you want, but just know when we beat you in the series this year, that's going in the write-up.
100%. Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna feel so fucking good.
Yeah, it is. That's gonna be fucking great. So what do we got here? Rolling through the list of random shit that we need to discuss here. Yem with another last pick overall. Now.
Did he run over somebody's dog at whatever random number generator shit that you guys use to make these fucking things?
This is the last. All right, so the last couple seasons we've just had to use a random draft generator just because it makes life easier. We don't have to worry about a live show, picking out of the hat, all that kind of nonsense. That stuff's fun, but when we're trying to just get stuff done and get stuff out, it's the easiest thing to do is just do this random generator, right? So, I do my normal thing. I put all the captain's name in the list, hit generate, and don't you fucking know it, both times Yambag has got the last overall pick. And even when his name was getting pulled out of the hat, he was always towards the bottom of the draft. I don't think I've seen him with a number anything higher than number 6 in drafting. He just got perennial fucking bad luck with trying to get a high draft pick. I don't think he'll ever be able to have a D-Mart or anything like that just because they're always gone by the time he gets his first pick.
For lack of a better term, that thing just rammers him every fucking time.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal, man. Let's see. What did he had last overall pick? He got Murph and Silva this year. Again, it helped with the late, with the deep pool that we had. It's funny to see Dom Silva go there again. Dom already requesting a trade in the chat. Shout out to Dom Silva.
Yeah. So, anyways, moving on. So we, as you guys can all see on the site, we always get Daly's seasonally write-ups. He does his predictions and shit, and there's massive vagina blood spilled everywhere.
Always.
Who's winning? DJ, who's winning the league this year? Straight up.
Who's winning the league this year? I'm gonna be cocky and say Hugh Laurie's Black Sails team. I think we're taking it this year. I think we've got a solid team. You got Hugh at center. You've got D-Mart at right wing. You've got Joe at left wing. You've got me and NCR swapping out on lefty. Me and 37 swapping in on goalie. And then we've got a kind of a little rotation going around on the right D side. I think we've got a deep team. Daly said we're going to project to finish 6 to 8, but he's spreading fake news saying that I'm going to be playing on right D. So
yeah, I don't know if you've been there, Dales. I don't know if you've seen DJ play right D, but God bless.
God, you better put a traffic cone up. It's brutal. Plus no one-timer and everything. Oh, it's a rough time. But yeah, I refuse right D. Daly, if you looked at the draft pool before you went through and did this analysis, maybe you would have seen that. But hey, that's on you. I think your analysis is okay. 6 to 8, I think, is rough trying to drop us that far. You think D-Mart is going to let us drop that far? He's got a big backpack, man. He's got a real big backpack. So what about you? Who do you think's winning it this year?
Oh man, this is a tough one. You got a lot of guys on a lot of different teams that are the real fucking deal, and a lot of these 3-game series I think they're gonna be 2-1, 2-1, 2-1.
Yep.
I don't think you're gonna see very many 3-0s.
No, not with the pool that this year had.
Just off the top of my head, I hate to say it, and everybody's gonna fucking just jump down my throat for this, but Daly's team is looking really fucking good.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. Now this is all going to depend on Drift King here and his fucking schedule, because you can't stay up 20 minutes later to finish a fucking game.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's, you gotta get to work on time. You know what I mean? But now that happens, they roll Daly back in that.
I don't think they can. I don't think they can afford to do that.
Exactly,
I don't think Odd Guy carries a defense like Daly can. But at the same time, you do have Rome, who, from what I understand and what I've been compared to, is we're very identical in the way we play, and we're very defensive, and we're really solid 2-way forwards. So if it's anything like that, maybe it's not that big of a deal. You know, you got Thamps is going to put the puck in the net. There's no fucking doubt about that. I literally do not know a thing about Dolly or Pounders, so I can't really comment on that without sounding like an asshole.
Yep,
not that I care, but I want to see it for myself before I fucking... Yeah, right? So, I see him taking it, man. It's just...
Fucking look at this team name. Boys. Are you serious?
Now, let me tell you...
Oh my god.
Let me tell you a little story about where that came from. When I first met Daly, there was a lot of late nights spent, and a lot of weird shit was said, and a lot of weird videos were shown. I don't know if you guys know what eFucked is. Not safe for work, but man, there's some funny shit on there. He ended up directing me to this YouTube video, Bear Force 1, and for a solid year, that was our club name.
Bear Force 1.
Yep, so... He's definitely going in that route, and I know he loves to do gay, weird shit. And this team is fucking on point for Daly and his personality and the way that he is.
He does like boys.
Oh yeah, Daddy, touch me there. Oh yeah. You know, like fuck. What the hell is that? I love you, Dales. I love you. You know that.
Oh my god! All right. So let's reverse that here. Who do you think is finishing the bottom? Who's sweeping up the basement? Who's closing the door at the end of the regular season? Trying to forget that this ever fucking happened, and they wasted a couple months of their lifetime.
Without a doubt in my mind, it's Gunny. He reached on in my opinion, 2 picks where he could have gotten better people. Joe was available in his second round. Burks was there. For my opinion, those 2 players are more complete than what DC brings.
Yeah, I think
they're
I've
not
played
going to
with.
score. I don't think they're going to score. I really don't.
Yeah, I've played with DC. I think once before, maybe for a few games, and I don't really remember much of anything going on there. Edge, I mean, obviously I played with Edge a few times. He's a good guy, and I don't think he's going to be carrying the offense like we said earlier. I'm going to agree with you on Gunny probably coming in, sweeping up the basement. I don't see the team really competing with the rest of the guys. I don't even know who their goalie is going to be. Gunny, I know, said he may be playing some D and maybe playing some goalie. Is he going to split time with Legion? I guess we all saw how that worked out last season with Legion in net when you didn't have Daly saving his ass in front of him. Legion just had a suntan going on his neck. I don't see this team really finishing anywhere higher than maybe 10th. Like, I'll agree with Daly's analysis on here. Projected finish was 10th to 12th. I don't see this team coming any higher than 10th. It's just not there.
The only other team that really sticks out to me that's going to struggle is here we go again, beating the dead horse.
Here we go.
He drafted 3 left wingers, traded for another left winger. Maybe Max okay playing on the right wing, but he has literally played left wing. We give him left wing when we play with him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's a lot there. Maybe when Figo's schedule isn't shitty and he can play his series like throughout the week, the one series. I think he's part-time, right?
No, Figo is full-time. He signed up as full-time.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure he's a cop, so he's got like 4 days on, 4 days off, or 3 on, 3 off, whatever it is.
Yep.
So his scheduling is a little bit rough, but if you get him through and you get a playoff spot coming in, even if you squeak into the playoffs, 8 teams making the playoffs here, having 6 and having buys in the first round really made no sense anyway. In a summer season with 12 teams, but you squeak in and get into the playoffs with him, where he can play whenever. He doesn't have to worry about MIA stuff, or you have back to back where he doesn't. It's one of those off shifts nights or whatever it may be. I think that pick pays off. It was like you were last season. Your availability was AIDS. You come into the playoffs where your pick, pays off because they can play in playoffs again. It's just one of those things. But that's the thing is when is he going to be able to play?
Yep. And that's that. Yeah, Rev's a good defenseman. She doesn't carry a decor.
Yep.
Where does Cody play?
Cody plays defense and offense. I've seen him play both.
Yeah. So it's just man, you could have drafted that so much better, buddy.
Yeah.
So much better. Especially after trading your first pick, man. Like, I understand you get Stojo and you bring Figo. They played together. Keep them together.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong
obviously did well. But when you think about who they were playing with, you have Brick Brick's gonna carry them. He's gonna make those plays happen that other people can't make happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see that. I don't see anybody on that team carrying a team like Brick could carry them.
Yeah, it's really a shame. Now, prove me wrong. I'm calling you out right now.
Yeah.
Prove me the fuck wrong. Make me pull my foot out of my fucking stomach because you've shoved it so far down my throat.
Yep, agreed.
You and guy,
I'm all for you guys. Just prove me wrong, and come out and win a couple series, and I'm not telling you got to go win the league to prove me wrong. Like, you come in middle of the pack, squeak in the playoffs, or whatever you want to do.
Anything can happen in the playoffs, man.
Exactly, man. Anything can happen in the playoffs. I'm all for it. Prove me wrong. But going into the season, the way the draft is and the way everything's looking right now, I think those are probably going to be your bottom two teams.
100%.
So let's do a top three here. Who do you got top three? Obviously, we had our picks for who's winning the league. Who do you think the other two teams are that are going to be up top? Obviously, I said we were Hugh's team was going to make we were going to run for the cup and all that kind of nonsense. I think Pale's team is probably going to do pretty well.
As much as I hate to say it.
Yeah, you
it hurts me. I literally have to go for chemo now.
Can I get some bleach coming this way, please?
Pass the fucking bleach. Saucy that shit right over here, thanks.
You got Brick, you got Sea-Doo, you've got Viper who can put the puck in the net. You've got C-Dub on D.
He has a guy to play with. Brick,
yeah, I was going to say, he needs someone to play with, but he's got Brick. You've got Sea-Doo on right D, you've got C-Dub on lefty, I'm assuming, because that's where I've seen them play. You have Master Shotgun in net, and then you've got, Pale as the other forward up there.
I think he has it as C-Dub, Brick, and Viper on up front, and Pale's playing lefty.
Okay, so regardless, whatever it may be, I think their team is going to be pretty solid. And then for I think that tie for that third place is going to be a tie between Daly and you guys with SO's team. I think both of those teams are solid. As long as Daly, like I said, as long as everything gets situated and Drift gets his warm milk at 11 o'clock sharp, I think that team has got a. I think that team's got a solid chance, and obviously with SO's team, you got Moose going number one. Moose is probably one of, if not the best, left defenseman in the league. You've got Swag who can score goals. You've got you in net who's a solid goalie. Dicko, I don't know much about, but we talked about The Rock earlier, and SO obviously is. SO's a great support guy. He's not going to be the one scoring all the goals, but he'll be the one getting pucks out and moving the puck and doing well. I think that's going to be a super competitive team as well.
Well, I hate to pump my own tires here, but yeah, I think we got a pretty good shot of at least competing. Maybe you don't see us top three. It depends on how well we gel together. Things are looking pretty good. I'll say that right now.
Mm-hmm.
But it all comes down to showing up to the game, really.
Yeah.
The last team that I see doing that's probably top three. Man, it's hard to say, man. These teams look so good. Like everyone, there really isn't a lot of holes in many of the lineups.
Yeah, like I said, this is a super deep draft pool. And I think the parity that we had last season is probably going to be rivaled again this season. I think most of the teams are well within playoff contention races. I think it'll be a good season. I think there's going to be a lot of surprises, a lot of close series, like we talked about, a lot of 2-1 series, a lot of 1-1-1s for the people that lose, a lot of overtime games, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. A lot of extra points going out.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun season. I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely.
Let's see. You got anything else that you want to discuss before we we call it a night on the first show here?
I think that pretty much covers everything. Yeah. Do you have anything?
No. I think we were pretty much discussed everything. If you guys want, I'll make a little forum post, and you guys can leave us some feedback and what you like, what you didn't like, what you'd like to hear more about, any topics or anything like that you may want us to discuss. Like I said, we're new to this whole this show thing. We saw kind of a void between the two shows, and figured we kind of jump in and start something up and see how people kind of react to it. If you like it, let us know. If you don't, tell us to fuck off, and we'll probably not do it and still be back here next Sunday. And
Pass you the bleach, basically.
yeah, basically. We got working on a sponsorship by Clorox that should help the league, and we'll go from there.
Hey, well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you next week, 10 Eastern on Sunday.
Yeah, good luck to everybody this week. Season starts, I believe, Wednesday night. So good luck to everybody in their first series this week, and shout out to Joe Thornton. And good night, boys.